This podcast is not intended to provide any investment advice. The opinions expressed here by either the hosts or guests do not necessarily reflect the views of PSA, Collectors Holdings, or any of their affiliates. Any discussion of collectible values in the past or present is not a guarantee of future performance.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the PSA Pod. Ryan Green, and I am joined, as always, by PSA President Ryan Hoge. It's been a little while. We know it's been a minute since we spoke with you. I think the last time, Ryan, that we spoke with everyone was right before the National, and it's been kind of a crazy summer. So, again, we apologize that it's been a minute. Everybody's been running around a little busy. The market is hot.
Yep.
I mean, everything in the hobby is just hot right now.
Yeah, things did not slow down. We usually see a little bit of a lull kind of post-national going into the fall with football season starting, but not this year.
Not this year. There was no break. But it's been a great summer, and we're going to, we were talking before the recording, going to call this a very heavy meat and potatoes episode because we have a lot of PSA updates to get to you guys, a lot of useful information for PSA customers in all categories. So we're going to be back on our monthly cadence here through the end of the year. Again, we apologize for the break there, but we've got a ton to catch up on today, and we're just going to jump right into it, Ryan. Like we said, a lot of key updates, and the biggest one we have to go on is something taking effect this week. We've got some changes with PSA pricing at multiple service levels and also turnaround times at multiple service levels. So let's just jump right in.
Yeah. So the last time I was on, I think it was right when we pulled back in value turnaround times.
Yeah.
In April, we had pushed things out due to demand. We pushed out estimated turnaround times to 65 business days from 45. And we made a commitment, and we still stand by the commitment that we want to pull turnaround times back in. We started in July. We were able to get value service level pulled back into 45 business days. We kept the two bulk tiers, TCG and value bulk, both at 65. Well, unfortunately, the demand has not softened, and the demand is outpacing our ability to keep up from a capacity standpoint. So we are bringing on new graders. We're expanding facilities. We're going to have a Florida operation shipping their first cards out probably by the time this airs. We're very close there, so that'll give us some more capacity in the U.S. But the demand for PSA grading services is insatiable. And so we're rolling out a couple of other changes this week. Hopefully the turnaround times are temporary until we can kind of get things back, but I can detail what those are. So we'll start with the turnaround time changes. So we are adjusting some of our expedited levels. So we're keeping the bulk tiers and value tiers where they are. So the bulk tiers will remain at 65 business days. Value will remain at 45 business days. But what we're going to adjust is Express through Value Plus. So you have Express, Regular, Value Max, and Value Plus. Those are each being extended by 5 business days. So we're essentially adding a week to each of those service levels.
So let's go through those one by one. We've got Value Plus, which is going to be going from 20 business days to 25. Value Max going from 15 business day turnaround time to 20. Regular will be going from 10 business days to 15. Express is going to be going from 5 business days to 10.
Yes.
And let's dive in a little bit really quick. The Value Plus service level. Now, this was a new service level that launched not all that long ago.
We've had it a couple of years.
Yeah.
But what we've seen in recent months in particular is demand for that service level has just increased dramatically. I think as you're seeing, turnaround times for bulk orders really kind of be at that 65 business day level, which when you translate that, depending on, when it falls, if it's around holidays or not, you're like 3 to 4 months is kind of from mail getting delivered, package getting delivered to us to that order being completed. 3 to 4 months is kind of roughly the average. And people are willing to pay up for that faster service level. So when you can say, hey, I'm going to have this thing in 1 month, and I'll pay a little bit more or a lot more, in the case of Value Plus, being $15 more than the value service level at $39.99. We're seeing a lot more units come in there, which is putting stress on the overall operation, just because those have to move in and out of the building quicker. a lot of people probably don't realize just how large the scale is that we operate at. And so we're just seeing those expedited tiers come in at higher volumes, and we're kind of getting ahead of any anticipated kind of missing those estimated turnaround times. We want to be as accurate and realistic and represent that to customers the best we can.
Yeah, you're seeing, you really nailed it there. I think as people are seeing the turnarounds with value and bulk submissions, maybe you have that one or two cards in that submission where you're saying, I really, maybe this one is valued a little higher. I'm trying to get this one back a little faster. So it's worth saying, like you said, this is only adding a week.
Yes.
It's not like we're extending this out all that far. So if you're getting 3-week turnaround time, 4 weeks.
Yeah. But I'm mindful of it. I mean, I don't like pushing out turnaround times. I think our whole mantra has been, let's go as fast and efficiently as we can while still being consistent and accurate with the grading services we provide. One other thing to note too, that people are probably started seeing, kind of relates to this. We added a 24-hour countdown clock now from when you have your grades available. Talk a little bit more about this later, but the way that we're really thinking about things is that estimated turnaround time is kind of to grade reveal, knowing that it might take 1 to maybe 3 more days to get that thing shipped or off to the vault, or if you choose to sell it. That's all kind of factored in there at the tail end. So really what we're talking about is kind of to grade reveal, and what you got on these estimated turnaround times.
Yeah.
Next thing though to talk about is a couple pricing updates. So we're increasing prices for 3 tiers. Again, this is in the spirit of trying to right size demand with our capacity. So right now we are getting more cards in than we are set up to handle. And so we want to try to right size that a bit. So we're increasing 3 service levels. We're increasing Value Plus by $5. So that's going to move from $39.99 to $44.99. We're increasing Value from $24.99 to $27.99. And then we're increasing Value Bulk by $2. So that's going to go to $21.99 from $19.99. And these changes are all going to be effective on Thursday,
the 25th.
The 25th of September.
Okay. So this is, like you said, just to kind of double down on the background for this, I think everybody who participates in this hobby, however you're consuming, what's going on in the hobby, from your direct experience, taking part in auctions or selling cards, or if you're on social media, consuming content around the hobby, I think everybody can see what the current state of this hobby is. It's touching everything.
Yeah.
And, we're obviously very central to a lot of that. So this is kind of in line with just what's happening right now in the hobby. So many people getting in, so much activity, so much sales volume, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. This is us doing our part to make sure that what our customers have come to expect from us, we're still meeting that.
Right. Yeah. And I'm super mindful of the turnaround times in particular. Yeah. And so I would rather us try to stick to our guns on the turnaround times and meet those than I am on the pricing, knowing that, we can level off some of the demand coming in at the right price point. That way we can still meet our obligations that we have on getting these orders processed as fast and efficiently and accurately as possible.
So we got that one out of the way. That's a
big one. But I remember the last time we talked though, I was hopeful that we would be pulling back in the bulk turnaround times, and unfortunately we can't. A lot of people are probably wondering, where is this growth coming from? A lot of it is Pokemon. The Pokemon market is super strong right now. That's a whole huge set of customers. There's some overlap with the sports customers, but it's also a really distinct audience. It's really large. It's a global audience. So this isn't just a U.S. centric thing. We're seeing really strong demand in Japan. And Japan even skews heavier into the TCG and Pokemon world than the U.S. does. So, and we pay close attention to what the Pokemon product calendar looks like. I think we're still in for some really strong releases throughout the end of this year and into next year with the 30th anniversary. So really hard to predict what demand is going to look like 6 months from now, but or beyond that. But we at least have decent line of sight through the end of the year, and we feel like it's going to remain pretty strong. And then you have some other tailwinds coming up too. I mean, we're going to have the Topps Chrome fully licensed NBA product out in October, which I think is going to be really, really popular with Cooper Flag rookie cards. So We're just trying to prepare ourselves. We're continuing to push on scaling the capacity, push on putting out more technology. Like I said, our Florida operation is going to be live here next week. So you'll start seeing increased, output and hopefully faster turnaround times. And then we're committed to, bringing back in these turnaround times when appropriate.
Yeah. You mentioned the last time we talked was just before the National in Chicago, and I mean, we've got some stuff to catch up on, but that's a great place to start, because I think what we saw at the National from the PSA end is very much in line with what we're talking about here. The demand for not just on-site grading, but for customers to come and drop submissions off at the National. I mean, this was, I had high hopes for the National this year, but kind of the volume of activity we saw there, not just on the show floor, but at our booth, really exceeded my expectations. Yeah.
It was pretty wild. I think our kind of on-site grading services, grading and authentication services, we were probably up 35% compared to the previous year. And then the kind of like post-show take-home submissions that we're bringing back to the home office, I mean, that was almost double what it was in 24. So a lot of demand. I mean, strong signals for the hobby, or I mean, maybe we even call it an industry at this point.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was awesome to see so many people. I think the team did an awesome job with the show. I think line management was done pretty well. People are moving in and out, whether they're dropping off or picking something up. Our vault kind of booth area was great. I think they did 4x the number of volume as far as cards being vaulted that they did in 2024. So that was really exciting to see. And yeah, I mean, I love the National. Great time to connect with customers. I got to do some guest breaks, whether it was with Jeff Wilson opening a 75 Topps rack pack that was kind of fun, or I opened a 80 Topps baseball box with Mike Mahan from Fanatics and Jared Blesnick from Blez Breaks. So that was really cool. So for me as a vintage baseball junkie, it was kind of cool to be a part of those things. But yeah, it was great. And we had an awesome set registry event that we did on Friday night where Jerry Rice and Scott Hansen from the Red Zone channel were our guests and MC, and it was a fun evening for all.
Yeah, there was that was a great week. And something I want to expand on that you mentioned there was you talked about the vault going 4x this year off of what we did in 2024 in Cleveland at the National. It's been a big summer for the vault, period. Not just with the submissions at the National, surpassing 1 million items sold in the PSA eBay.
Yeah, that was
store.
A pretty cool milestone.
That's a huge milestone. And then, coming back to something you mentioned.
And we have over 1 million cards in the vault currently. Yeah. And we've sold over 1 million.
It's pretty strong.
Yeah.
Hopefully we got enough space in there to keep this going. Yeah. But, no, coming back to something you were talking about, you mentioned the 24-hour clock that's now on orders that people are going to see completing in their accounts. Right. And part of that is added liquidity options, not just the option to, do I want to send the card home to me or to the vault, but there's added options now within that.
Yeah. It's really cool. I was part of the team, the collective group of several of us that were brainstorming different ways to kind of present these options and what the customer experience should be. But yeah, this countdown clock or shot clock was the concept, because I would hear from customers that maybe had an interest in vaulting or selling their cards on eBay that they didn't even have a chance to respond after they got the notification that their grades were ready, because we shipped it so quickly. And so I love that our shipping department moves so fast, but we needed to add a little bit of a temporary hold so people could decide what they want to do. And yeah, like you mentioned, we have multiple options. So not only is it ship the item home to me, send it to the vault, but you could sell it on eBay, either at fixed price or at auction. Or we have our PSA offers program that launched last fall that's doing really great, where you can accept in kind of an instant cash, in quotes, offer for your card from someone in our PSA buyer network, where we have, breakers, hobby shops, other folks that are needing to buy mass quantities of cards, that we essentially have a matchmaking service that helps connect that. And a lot of people are choosing to take advantage of that as well for the faster access to those funds that they can choose to deploy however they want, whether it's buying more wax, grading more cards, whatever it is.
I'll tell you what, I was involved in one of the early phases with the offers from submissions coming out of grading. I think I had an order pop and had, I think, 3 or 4 cards that I was already going to be sending to the vault, had an instant PSA offer before even shipping out of the building. And I think I accepted 3 of them. They were very good offers. And I'm pretty sure I walked out of my office and I saw you and I said, I think this is going to be pretty popular.
Yeah, it's going really well. I think we turned on the feature in my orders. So where you go and actually see your grading orders. I think it was August 18th or 19th that it went live, and we're seeing really great adoption. Before, the only way to get a PSA offer was you had to have the card vaulted, and not everybody is vaulting their cards, and it's a relatively, small amount. I mean, we said 1 million cards in the vault, PSA is grading,
almost 2 million,
almost 2 million a month. Yeah. So it's a much larger pool if you could potentially make offers on the cards that are being graded, not necessarily have to be vaulted. And so that's what we did, in late August. That's now turned on. Some more people have access to it, and we're seeing a ton of folks choose to take those offers and kind of get that instant liquidity. Yeah. It's all in the spirit of just reducing friction and making it easier for collectors.
Especially if you're someone, I mean, I know I'm like this, where I'm always evolving my collection. I may have a card that I think I'm going to hold on to this for, a couple years, and, an opportunity to get into something else that I've been looking for comes up, and I decide I need to move something or consolidate something, and just having the offers available has made a lot of that, like you said, frictionless and just a lot smoother.
Yeah. I think that's common with a lot of people when they have a grading order. Some stuff they're going to keep putting their PC. Other stuff they want to sell, maybe cost recovery from that box they opened, whatever it is. Yep. And so, I think this just makes it that much easier for people to kind of have fun collecting.
So a few other key updates from over the summer months. I mean, we've just kind of had an avalanche of things happening. Let's talk about comic and magazine grading, which has now been live for a couple months, and the adoption's been really strong to date.
Yeah, that similar to cards, we've been a little bit overwhelmed with the demand there. It's been really, really strong out of the gate. We went live July 14th, so it was like the week before the National. So it's awesome. We're kind of seeing almost an equal split of comics and magazines. We did just announce this week that we're pushing out estimated turnaround times for both services there, which again, it's just being accurate and reflecting kind of the state of demand versus our capacity. Our magazines have started shipping, which is great because we were still finalizing some of the components, the materials there, which is why we had a longer turnaround time for the magazine submissions. I just saw some of the completed units. Those are starting to go out now. Lots of really cool Sports Illustrateds, Beckett's, PSA magazines. It's also just really fun to see those. A lot of nostalgia seeing some of those old SI covers. We're going to be adding dual support. So if you have an autographed magazine or comic, you'll be able to get those submitted in October. So stay tuned for that. But yeah, we're really, really happy with the initial reception from the community and the demand that we're seeing come in. And then there's been some really cool secondary sales because it's a new category. So we're paying close attention to see, how the potential, how the market and the buyers are valuing the PSA holdered books relative to other companies. And we've seen some really nice numbers put up at some of the auction houses.
I know I'm excited for my magazine to come back. I did a submission right after we went live, Sports Illustrated.
Of course.
But got a few more autographed SIs I'm ready to submit. So I think the dual service is going to be very popular.
It should for sure.
And then another category that it's not a new category, but it's a shift in the branding of a category we just announced last week. The WATA brand is now going to be changing to PSA Games.
Yes.
With a label that is very similar to what you're seeing on the PSA Comics and Magazines in those holders. And that's coming soon too.
Yes. We announced that last week. That's exciting just to, officially get the video game category under the PSA branding. Same holder, label's going to look different, same team, same standards. So nothing else is really changing, but I guess you're just going to have more symmetry in your collection.
I like that with all these things, we're going deeper and deeper into moving from, PSA being Professional Sports Authenticator to now being, it's an acronym that kind of encompasses so many different things.
Yeah, it does.
And that's been a really cool evolution to watch happen over the last couple of years. And now that brand is going to be going global even more in the coming months and the next year. I know we've talked about international updates on this show previously when you've been here. What do we have coming up now as some things have shifted around.
Yeah. So everybody's aware of our Japan office. That's been open since the summer of 2023. Going great. We moved into a bigger, larger facility earlier this year. Team's rocking. We opened up our first kind of retail location in Japan in the Akihabara district. And so it's called the PSA Lounge Tokyo. Similar to our setup maybe that we have with Burbank Sports Cards here in California, where staffed by PSA employees, you can go in and submit in person. We're moving in October. I think October 20th, we're going to be live in our new Toronto area location in Mississauga, Ontario. So for those that are up in that area or go to the Sports Expo every November and spring, we're probably 5 minutes from that exposition center. That's going to be a really great office. We're going to have the associated online submission center mobile app, and you're going to not have to do paper forms anymore if you want to submit directly to PSA Canada. And then we will not do full grading in Canada. Grading will still happen in the US, but we will receive the orders and ingest them, and then they will get routed to one of our US offices for completion and then go back to the Canada office before they're shipped back to customers, or folks can pick up in person. And so we're going to make navigating customs, easier and cheaper. And we'll do the burden ourselves. And I think people are probably most excited to just not have paper forms.
Yeah.
And then next year we're going to Europe. So we announced that we were going to be expanding to Germany, and we were going to have a receiving center. We've decided to make that a full-blown grading center. So similar to what we have in Japan, we're going to be doing a grading operation in Frankfurt, Germany. That's going to be open in the summer of 2026. We've already hired some team members out there. We're going to be ramping up, getting that facility live, doing grader training and all of that, and plan to have that live for customers to submit. Similar to Canada and Japan, where you have a localized online submission center, the mobile app, and local language, currency, and shipping providers. And that'll be live middle of next year. And then there's other markets that we're looking at and talking about, but nothing to share yet with the podcast listeners.
More and more to meet the demand.
Yes. I mean, it's global.
Yeah.
Collecting is global. Yep. PSA is going global to meet folks where they are.
Love it. Did we miss anything? I think we've updated just about everything from the summer. This is the summer that was that.
I mean, it's busy. It's busy around here. But it's good. It feels healthy. And for folks that are, having flashbacks to 2020, 2021, when, PSA got really underwater with submissions, it's not the case today. I mean, at any given point, we maybe have 2 months worth of kind of units and product to work on in the facilities. And that's kind of where we are, but we're just mindful of not going too much beyond that, because then that does start to, more impact the estimated turnaround times. And so we're really committed to sticking with those targets that we have out there. Yeah. So we've got the team, we've got the capacity. We've grown it so much in the last 4.5 years. It's mind-boggling when I walk around, but yeah, it's fun. It's fun just kind of seeing the market and having it go more mainstream. And, you've got all sorts of stuff happening out there that's drawing new people in and interest in collecting and cards, whether it's sports or TCG. Yeah.
Well, it's going to be a big fourth quarter of the year ahead, especially on the collecting side. Like lost in the midst of all this, it's football season. That's
quarterbacks getting injured.
Exactly. Quarterbacks heating up and reviving their careers. There's just
Indiana Jones. I'm seeing that nickname now.
It's a roller coaster. Welcome back.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Who's stood out for you so far? Have you started looking into anybody who's kind of got you wanting to look at cards?
Well,
or not quite yet.
So folks that know, I grew up in Dallas. I'm a Cowboys fan, but I'm also like, watch the Cowboys documentary, and you can see the pain. Like I can relate to a lot of those people. I mean, that was my high school, growing up with those teams. But I'm also a Seahawks fan, lived in Seattle for 17 years. So I'm liking Sam Darnold. I'm liking the team dynamics there. Seahawks team's looking good. And then I'm a Sun Devil. And so Cam Scadaboo looked awesome this weekend. He's fun, punishing, physical. He's on both of my fantasy teams.
He's going to give you a fun prism chase this year.
Yeah.
I got to get involved a little bit.
Well, right? I got his, the Bowman Chrome, the red shimmer auto, the Bowman Chrome U.
With the inscription on it, right?
Yeah. It says Go Sun Devils. It's a cool card.
Yeah. Yeah. So you got someone.
I've been thinking about that. I'm probably going to go. I can't see, but now people listening, they're going to be like, oh, I got a buyer. I'm going to jack that price up.
Maybe the cards will find you now.
Maybe.
You don't even have to look so much.
Cam Scadaboo. I'm a buyer for Cam Scadaboo prisms.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been a fun start to the football season. Fantasy wise, not so much for me, but I was due for for a setback one of these years. I've had a few good years in a row. And
How are you doing in the work league?
Oh, I'm getting killed.
Are you?
Yeah, it's not been pretty. Had a great first week and then just.
I think I've got the win in the bag this week. I'm going to be 2-1.
Yeah, just off a cliff. Hopefully it changes. It's a long season. It's a long season.
Yeah,
the Bears gave me hope yesterday. It's a reminder. It's a long season.
It is a long season.
Not over in a month.
No, it's fun though. It's always good to have football back. And by the way, baseball playoffs. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Rangers fan and Mariners fan again, Texas and Seattle. I got my Rangers World Series, 2 years ago. So
I don't want to see Seattle this month. Next month.
No, I mean, I watched the series this weekend against the Astros. They look great. Their pitching staff's awesome. Cal's hitting dingers.
Is he going to get to 60, you think?
It's going to be tough. Yeah. I mean, he already set the Mariners record, so I think he's good. And Julio needs to get to 30-30. That's what needs to happen.
How far off?
I think he needs 2 or 3 more steals.
As of the time of this recording.
Yeah, 2 or 3 more steals, I think.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's baseball players are going to be good this year because there is just no dominant team.
No.
It is wide open.
Yeah.
The last team that gets in could make a run.
Yeah, I know. I mean, that's where I'm feeling pretty good about the Mariners being hot. Cleveland is also super hot right now too. Both teams are surging here.
Yep. Didn't even realize Cleveland's a playoff team if the season ended today. Like until today, I was looking at the standings.
I don't think they were 3 or 4 weeks ago.
No, they were not.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're basically what the Diamondbacks were a couple of years ago, where they were just kind of...
And they went all the way.
Exactly.
And then...
So anything can happen. And you mentioned it earlier. Look, I'm not a basketball card collector anymore at this point, but I'm kind of excited for fully licensed Topps basketball to be back.
Yeah.
I might have to... I haven't ripped a lot of wax this year. I might need to make an exception.
I think it's going to be a really popular product.
Yeah.
Oh, speaking of rip and wax, earlier today I was next door. We had one of our soccer super collectors here in the office doing a break of some mega cracks boxes, looking for a Messi rookie and Ronaldo rookie.
Anything?
So pulled 2 Ronaldo rookies out of the 2002 mega cracks, and then the Messi year, I think it was 2004. None.
Oh,
still fun though.
Yeah.
His own personal stuff. Grading the Ronaldos.
Are those what's the box average on those?
I don't know. I asked him. He was thinking the box average on the Ronaldos was 1.5, and the Messi he thought it was about 1. Yeah,
that's a tough one.
Came up short.
Hopefully one of those Ronaldos grades out really nice at least.
They look pretty clean. I mean, I didn't look at him that close, but it was kind of fun. He was freaking out.
See, and getting to experience stuff like that. It's like we said, it's been such a busy summer, but there's a lot of joy happening right now in this hobby.
No, it's
too.
good.
So it's really fun to just see all this up close, whether it's here in the office, whether it was out on the road this summer. Things are really fun right now.
Yeah, and it's fun. And I get to do some of my little guest breaks, like I said, at the National. And then we've got, Blez Sports is going to be in here next week or
it's
this
Bowman
week
season,
with Bowman. Yeah. So we're going to do a little Bowman Chrome. So that's always fun. And that way I don't have to go spend my own money. I can open other people's cards. And
that's where you're getting the fix.
Exactly. I get the fix, get to go chase those prospects, hit something cool for somebody else. Yeah,
awesome.
It's fun though.
Nice. Well, Ryan, it's good to be back.
It is good to be back.
Like we said, it's been a couple months, but we're back here. We'll be back after 10/10 day. We'll be back some point late in October with some more updates for you guys. And as always, if you have questions that you want PSA President Ryan Hoge to answer here on the show, PSA Pod at collectors.com. Send us some questions. We are here to talk with you and keep you up to date on everything happening here at PSA. So for Ryan Hoge, I'm Ryan Green once again. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll be back with you next month here on the PSA Pod.